I think there's so many
changes.
innovation situations right now that people are trying to push that won't become effective
for a long time.
I want to say in our career
that some certain methods that are being presented right now, and as it relates to AI or even technology and the offsite construction and stuff like that, a lot of those things are going to fail, and I think that prefab and offsite is one of them.
Yeah, I think that it's important to know where you're at in the position, and to say that a company where we're at trying to create that offsite experience, we're not there. Number one, there's way bigger companies that have the backing to support losing money for an X amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they get their systems in place and all that stuff.
It's like that gentleman we met that has a full prefab. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Down there. Down in California.
McCoffey. Gary McCoffey?
Yeah. So, like, to his point, it's $10 million to set up what he does. And if you don't have what he does, like even investing $10 million, he still needs 5+% more money.
Yeah. Yep.
And that matters in construction. 5% matters.
And he was, based off his stories, he's having to go and beg the general contractors to take his product because there's so much more, but he couldn't come down any less. Like, everybody wanted what he was doing, but nobody wanted to pay for it. And
he has, and I think he's in the forefront of the industry of being offsite, but what does he have to be able to do it? The money backing. He has companies, the biggest residential builder in Europe backing him.
Plus, and there's probably a lot of people that have big interest in real estate that are trying to donate to his developing of this offsite construction throughout his years, because how many years has he been doing it?
Yeah.
He had relationships, millions and millions of dollars probably got donated to the research and development of offsite construction.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a failure ultimately.
And until they get developers, architects, and engineers on board. And that order.
Exactly. If they would implement it and say, okay, this is the type of construction and it's to save time, then they would, if it goes from that side, then there's going to be phases of, like, you have to get a contract in time to get all of your I forget the word of your AI stuff and what Justice does. Sorry.
Oh,
the design
building
work,
design.
The building design
Prefab
work that
design
takes so much, and everybody that's involved in any pre-construction, no matter whether it's component cutting or prefabbing walls or floors, just like when we went and met with that gentleman over in California that done the floors, his first warning to us was, don't underestimate the design team. This takes a lot of work to get this right. And that's where you can just,
I would say 75% of Justy's time, our design gentleman, is because it don't make sense. He's trying to convert an architect's and structural engineer's drawings into prefabbing.
But how does that go towards getting the digital or what do you call the CAD files? Like, if you can get the 3D models from the architect, and it goes back to your point, they got to be on board with it.
That's for accuracy. That's not necessarily going to help the 75% of what I'm talking about. It's just like floors, structural designs don't match up. So it's like we have to make a tiny little panel here and a normal size panel here because nothing, like, the structurals aren't matching up. And so that's the importance of, if the engineer and architect was on board with this, Justy's time in designing the prefab would be 25% of what it is.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. But what Justy does actually is what we're trying to do by getting the architect and engineer together.
Right. Yeah.
And he's doing their jobs for him, meshing it together.
I think it's going to be, I think it is the way of the future. I just think it's going to be a lot longer than our competitors are thinking. And I think that them investing millions of dollars in a prefab situation right now is wasted money.
I agree. I mean, that's a big accusation, and I agree with that.
That's a bold statement saying that it's going to fail altogether. You know, there's a lot of money.
I don't think it's going to fail altogether. I think it's just going to be 20, 30 years before it is an industry standard. Right now, it's a convenience that costs more money.
But you have GCs that believe in it pretty wholeheartedly, that really want it on their job site, but they've never been a part of it.
90% of GCs have nothing to do with the developing, and they get this project after the developing decisions are made and the architect and structural engineer's done. Yep. So they don't even have influence. Even though they like it, they don't even have influence.
Yeah,
the people that are giving them
to the people that do it.
Right, but the people that are giving them, this is my argument. I don't blame the GCs for loving it.
That's just
my argument is the people that are giving it to them are wasting money.
Yeah,
and so it'll take them down. Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
And that is exactly what I mean by fail.
They're having to eat the profits.
The failure will come individually.
Yes,
the process itself is not going to fail.
Yeah.
Like, it's just going to take 20, 30 years
to evolve.
Because, I mean...
And it's because they're not on board like the architect, and because to your point, that would make it 70% more easy.
Because nobody's willing to pay for what it really needs to evolve instead of stagnatize or not.
They would find...
If there was more money, if the developer had to spend more money, like if it was... talked about, if the developer cared about time.
Yeah, but the problem is the developer would if he would consult a framer ahead of time, but he don't. So everything is already
predetermined for you in your profession.
They need to consult.
I'll bet
not just the framer, the plumber, the HVAC, the electrician. So you build this all together, and with the understanding, okay, plumber stuff got to go here. The electrician needs to make sure it's big there.
Yeah. To your point, I sat in on a class at the construction or the home building deal in Vegas a couple years back, and there was a case study that if the developer and architect would consult the I think it was like the 4 main subs. It was the concrete, the framing, electrical, and plumbing. If they would consult those 4 main subs,
I think it would be
during design.
And plumbing, not electrical.
It was HVAC, not electrical.
Yeah.
During design, it would save on average a project 20 to 25%.
They don't even have to have that particular sub on board. They just have to know what that sub needs or what that industry needs. That's why they have electrical engineers and mechanical engineers. They specified
in the study that does include the price to have a sub do the value engineering to consult.
So actually have a professional do the value engineering, whether they own the job or not.
Paying that professional the consulting fees would still save the project 20 to 25%.